We're Steph and John and welcome to Real Renos.
This is the Real series where we take you on our own renovation project in real time.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes.
And now we have two stories to tell.
Let's start with the exterior. So landscaping is officially done. The front is looking so much cleaner. We had two huge deliveries, one with all of our plants from exotic nurseries and another one with our grass from Green Life Turf. Look at how big those deliveries were. So we have our beautiful limestone steppers that transition into the porch, and we have a heap of planting. You'll see we've got planting in the driveway, planting at the front, and we had a bit of a game with the Silver Spade boys to guess how many plants were actually laid across the front, courtyard and backyard. Let's check out their guesses over here.
Or I reckon maybe 50 odd.
I reckon we'll plant about 85 plants.
Probablemente 32.
How many plants do you reckon that we'll plant today?
I reckon it's going to be about 75.
I think like 167.
Plants. I reckon there's 175 plants in total on the job.
So 30, I don't know how some people guess 30 plants. However, I did the quantities for both the exotic nurseries and the herb garden order. There's about 158 plants to plant. So I don't know where some of their numbers came from. However, I reckon they can do it across today, maybe a little bit tomorrow, but we're gonna see if they can push to get it all done today. So we are so happy with how the front facade has come together. We really have focused on street appeal, and I think we have delivered just that. We're so happy with how the cobble has come together from ACM blocks. The natural colors really tie in with the rest of the porch, but also with all the timber work. So as you can see, the Fedwood fence has come together. It is literally beautiful. We're so happy with the height. Also the color. We've brought in all of our Taubman's colors from the windows, from the exterior. So we've got paper bark for all the posts. We have gone with Pebble Bay with all the pickets. And I just want to also show you what we've done with the fascia and the side of the house. When it comes to the color, we've also looked to match the downpipes and all the gutters with the fascia and the side of the home so they don't stick out and make it look a little bit ugly. We've made it all look in keeping with that beautiful stained brick that really lends to the heritage nature of this house. So into the start of our courtyard area, we have this beautiful, huge maple that Exotic Nurseries has provided us on this project. So behind the gate, we've actually gone with pebbles. Why? Because this obviously doesn't get too much sun, but we have gone with a big 40mm pebble. We've gone with the white Cowra pebble from Sand Hub. I think it actually lends to a little bit of security when you can basically hear footsteps when you're walking down the side courtyard. Plus it's also a really nice color. It brings out some natural marble colors that also lend in to the interior Taj Mahal stone that we have used. But inside, this is Steph and I's favorite area. It is our courtyard. We've gone quite large with the herbs and fruits that we are looking to grow, and we have looked to make sure that our feature trees aren't too overpowering. So we've got a weeping cherry blossom just to the side here. It lends well to the Japanese inspired garden, and it also complements the maples from the front. But in here, as you can see, the sun is shining all across the herbs and the plants. So we thought, how can we go farm to table and also grow some things that we can actually enjoy? So we have a lime tree. We've also got a mandarin tree, which is gonna grow really nicely up here in the years to come. And we went quite exotic with the herbs. We went chilies, we went thyme, we went silver beet, oregano, even some parsley. But what we really wanted to do is we really wanted to bring some greenery when you look into the kitchen window from the inside. So we went with a big lollipop olive tree. Now that's quite tall, however, it does lend perfectly to that kitchen aspect. And then it's all complemented by this little lemon tree, which is gonna really take shape in the years to come. So you're probably looking at this herb garden, you're looking at the front and thinking, oh my God, a lot of trees, a lot of maintenance, but that is not the case. We have integrated an irrigation system through every single planting area. I'll let Steph speak a little bit more about the irrigation system over here.
So among all of the planting, we have these pipes going interweaved into our garden beds. We have Dom from Dom Phillips Irrigation doing exactly that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your process?
Okay, so this is drip tube. It's basically like very maintenance free. It just releases a drip of like it drips every 300 mil over the entire gardens.
Great.
So it just becomes like a sort of matrix
Moist.
watering basically. It's very, very water efficient.
Yep.
And as I said, very, very low maintenance, and it's operated off a controller, which you can time it to whatever you want, 4 times a day, every 2 days, whatever you want.
Amazing. And we've just got that going around the perimeter and in here.
So before I go through to the backyard, can we just take a moment to appreciate this aspect? We obviously have our feature olive tree, we've got the lemon tree, but just look at this James Hardie cladding. It lends so well to the heritage nature of this building. We've got our linear weatherboard, which we've painted and finished in a paper bark color, and our accent trim perfectly boxing the windows, and we've gone with a pebble bay finish, which is exactly like the front facade. So that continuity is key. That's something that we keep in mind with every single project. So welcome to our Japanese oasis of a backyard. As you can see, there are a lot of plants. There's a high privacy screening. There are some low-lying softscape as well. I'll let Steph and Josh speak about the plant selections that we had perfectly curated and ordered from exotic nurseries over here.
So yeah, we salt and peppered the back with this plant.
Heliocarpus yamundii.
Yes, and we've done that specifically because, like I said, I wanted continuity between this bamboo, edge, but also I didn't want it to feel super jungle-like. So by salt and peppering, you sort of, disperse the way in which it feels at the back. And of course, it's because the foliage changes. But a big tip for me was wanting to maintain some sort of copper top or a red kind of, think about like my red bricks at the front. That's how I wanted to bring that color back in through planting. So I chose this plant specifically for the copper tops. And then speaking of copper tops, then in our garden beds just below these areas, we have an array of
Copper
plants.
spoons, silver spoons, and crassula.
And then all of that with some dichondra. They all have a bit of like well, these ones definitely have like a brown tinge to like the leaf. So again, there is logic to the madness.
We've got some Ligularia, some Raphiolepsis.
Which is what I love about this plant is got like this white sort of flower, which is super lovely.
Yep. We've got some Viburnum copper tops.
And I love that's again bringing back that copper sort of leaf at the top, similarly to what we spoke about around the perimeter.
Yeah, we've got some Myporium. We've got some
Mastringa, rosemary, alocasia at the back. Again, that sort of beachy look. And then some miscanthus that sort of is like reminiscent of the bamboo sort of foliage. But now we've just popped it in a smaller format at the back.
Yeah, it's gonna look great.
Amazing.
So we are all about a usable backyard, and there is nothing more usable than having some beautiful turf. So we have had our Zergrain zoysia laid. It is edged perfectly with the Shapescaper steel edging to create a bit more of a natural feel instead of straight lines. I'm going to speak more about why we chose the Zergrain zoysia from Green Life Turf over here. So we're using the Zergrain zoysia in the backyard of this reno project. So it's very rich in color, and the best thing about it is it's low maintenance. So less work, more wow. You only need to mow it a few times a year, which is great. You can keep it really short, so it gives that golf course-like effect. But I'm so excited to see this laid down in the backyard. So where the grass ends, we've gone back to the pebbles. Again, continuity with the side courtyard area. This is where we're gonna have an outdoor dining area. As you can see, it's full sun at the moment. This area gets a lot of shade, so you're not gonna melt in the sun. But something that Steph and I were saying the other day is how far we have come from that day when we had this plungy pool craned in.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the
to now, we have literally delivered on this amazing backyard space. We're so happy with how the Kona Coast interior has complemented the exterior tiling that we've used. This is the Tile Cloud Kirribilli large format tile in sand. The 1200 by 600 tile has allowed us to use a brick lay, and with the grout, it literally feels like one huge piece of travertine was just dropped in here to anchor the whole backyard. So as you can tell, we are super house proud. We are so happy with the way that Josh and the Silver Spade guys have delivered on Steph and I's vision for this backyard. I'm gonna throw it over to Steph now to talk about the interiors of the house.
So I'm still pregnant, and it feels great. It feels so good because we're finally in the space. I thought this would for sure be the last episode, but it looks like there'll be another episode coming up, which is good because we do have a lot of other little details that are still coming together, and it does take some time for those ones to sort of come to fruition. So let's not rush it. And that's what we're saying for the baby too. So what can we update you on from the inside now? Well, Constantino has come to play when we think about our Taj Mahal steps. So as you know, we have used Constantino Taj in many various little details of the house. I think now we're at the stage where you're actually wanting to just feel the space and understand the continuity in the space. So let's just sort of rewind on what the space used to look like. Okay, so this room isn't fully done, but it does feel really lovely to be in here. It's gonna be probably the second child's room, obviously, because we do have the Jack and Jill bathroom that takes you right through into the nursery. Like we said, we are gonna take you through all the furniture details, but we have time for that. But for now, to the hard-hitting questions, people are asking about our flooring, our colors, how we came up with this sort of color palette. Well, let's talk about the floor first. So, from Carpet Court. Okay, so I think we're gonna go with the Amalfi range, and we're gonna go with the Sorrento, and for the Humboldt, I think it's called a Bell. Yeah, 5454. That's perfect. So I love how the Sorrento range and the Amalfi colorway complements all of our colors. Not only, of course, the color of the walls, but also the color of the furniture in which we've selected. So we used an enamel-based product in semi-gloss for all of our timber work, and we chose the color Milk Cloud. And we used low sheen for our walls. It's so easy to clean. It has this shine to it. It's perfect. And we used it in the color Coffee Hit. So now that we're on the color topic, so we also of course use paint in the bathrooms. It's a low VOC, non-toxic paint, mold resistant in Milk Cloud, and it's in a matte finish. I think it's really important for your ceilings to be matte, but also I think the biggest thing there is mold resistant. I mean, I love this bathroom. We did use micro cement on our walls here. I did use micro cement in the kitchen and in the bathrooms to sort of add movement, but also they are wet areas, so I do prefer that sort of render. But a moment for this bathroom. The Taj Mahal makes another appearance. I'm loving the detail in which we used over here, and the Yabby products that are in full show right now. We also used a beautiful timber veneer that does contrast to our other timber products, and I just think the palette has come together perfectly. Also lighting. That has come to fruition, and it really changes the way in which you feel. A careful selection of lighting in a space is so important. We have used this Rev 1 light in this milk glass, which is gonna be a recurring theme that you'll see in our hallway and in other areas. But also, it's the placement of how we've done things as well. You'll notice that in every single room, there is a sort of a wall sconce off-centered to a wall. Why do I do that? Because it's like having a lamp without all the wires. So it's an intentional focal point art piece, and also reoccurring in the 3 bedrooms for consistency, continuity, and if you're wanting to be able to just have no other lights in the house and just have those 3 lights on, you're creating one layer of mood. So these are the lights that we were talking about. They still have that milky sort of glass. We're connecting the rooms inadvertently, but also I want you to look at the 3 other elements that are on this light. Starting with the antique brass. It's a recurring motif that we see through our either hardware, so that's our door handles, our hinges, but it's also seen through our Yabby products in the bathroom. Followed by travertine. Now, that travertine we have used, like we said, as the core basis material in our bathrooms and also in other lights. So the lights that we found in this bathroom tie in again the beautiful sort of reoccurring material palette, not only through tiles, but of course through the material of the actual light itself. So we also use bronze lighting on their own. The Atlas that we've used here in the hallway, specific sort of lighting, very moody. Think about at night, that's what you'd be putting on. We also use this sienna. It's this elevated sort of light that we've popped on either side of our fireplace, like this. This sort of room was a bit hard to sort of think about. Remember, we don't have one downlight on our ceiling, which I pride myself over. But having you know, such high ceilings, we needed it sort of more of an elongated light. We have used the peninsula lights in our skylights, so it does offer, you know, at nighttime specific focused lighting, but majority of the time I'm definitely just using our wall lights and creating those sort of stories that we said. Again, you will notice here our milky, I call it milky. Just a moment for this, the whole room. I love that it sort of is structured in zones. Someone asked me, oh, why did you put the bookshelf just there? So what I do, what I think I do without even thinking is like line everything up. So that's our pantry, as you know, in there. So I've just like lined this space up, and that's obviously where our bookshelf was just like meant to go. I also further emphasize that in our banquette, so changing it from drawers to open cupboards. So there's like little sort of details like that that make you feel like, okay, you're transitioning into a new space. That's more of a temporary space. This then gives purpose and framing to our banquette seating with our Everest lights, which we have copied on this side. And again, it just makes this room feel nice and continuous and have this really beautiful, purposeful feel, especially because the ceilings are lower here. And by lower, obviously there's still high ceilings, but I definitely wanted to create, this is more of a family sort of gathering space. It's around food, very intentional thought processes and living. So another reason why this room feels so good is the cross-flow ventilation. It's this openness to the outside courtyard and the backyard, all done because of our sliding doors from Auspex. So, remember when I spoke to you guys about Auspex windows? Capital Windows and Doors installed them. That's my dad's company. And yes, remember when I said to you we didn't pick white? Hi, Spiros!
Welcome to Value Space by Auspex.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really keen to be here because I really want to chat to you guys about our windows. I've always wanted to use an aluminium profile. It's going to be double hung.
Yep.
I'm wanting something for my sliding door as well, and the double hung window to be as streamlined as possible, seamless, because it's going to be encased in like a timber architrave. The house is quite traditional. So I would love for you to chat to me about the different products that you guys can provide.
Okay, so our double hung window that I would recommend for you is the Evo Plus, which is a commercial double hung. So it's good performance, good quality, and it's designed to meet what you just described to me. So something new with ProGlide, traditionally most sliding doors have a 45mm wide interlock or mullion, and that's pretty standard, 45-50. Obviously the trend now is to go for more slimmer. So what we've done is we've incorporated a slim 28mm interlock that works with pretty much all the configurations of the door.
Great.
So that can be swapped out quite easily.
Nice.
And is available, yeah.
Okay, amazing. So I think that's the definite differentiating factor with using an Auspex
Absolutely.
you know, product and profile. And then what I love is your flush transitions, which we have incorporated as well. We also have this drain too. So back into our second living space over here. I think you remember from photos from last time, I always wanted that European sort of kitchen. We have these DIY little blinds that sort of cover our washer and dryer. It's just a detail that I like. I feel like laundry is part of our everyday life. Why should I hide into a room? Why can't I be in a nice space? This couch here is from Freedom. Genuinely, this is just not a sales pitch. This is the best couch I've ever sat on, and that's why I bought it for this room. It is so comfy. It's been amazing in this last sort of time since my pregnancy, but I think it's time for us to give you a bit of a story about what the next couple of weeks are going to look like.
So that concludes the build part of the Real Renos series.
Yes, not the furnishing part. We still have loads to talk to you guys about, but I think we're going to do that with a small child.
I think so. It's been great bringing you guys on the journey, showing you the realness of a reno, converting that old 1900s home into what it is now.
Yeah, and it's been so beautiful doing it in 5 months. I mean, that hasn't necessarily been normal.
No.
A big thanks to everyone who's worked with us to basically push to get us to this point. There's nothing to motivate you than the nesting of pregnancy. It's been incredible.
The timing could not have been more perfect. Literally in any day now, any week now, we will have our little daughter here with us to you in the next episode.
Yeah, literally. And that would be really nice, sort of talking you through that next phase, but also, living in the space, looking at all the furnishings and how we've actually lived in the space, because I think that's important also to understand how architecture and then the living part sort of marries in together.
Yeah. I'm super proud of us. I mean, look, it feels like just yesterday we were craning a pool in, we were pulling ceilings down, we were pulling floors up, to where we are now. You know, we've had some time. You've been able to nest.
Yes, nesting.
Live in the space, be calm, and the timing of the reno could not have been any more perfect.
Yes, so thank you for coming on this journey. It is not the end, it's just the beginning of the next chapter, and we're super excited to take you on that one. Super, super soon. I can't move on, baby doll, waiting on calls, flipping through stations. I'm outclassed and it's outrageous.
100 years of house.
We do have a bit of news for you guys.
Can't move on. I can't move on, baby doll. Waiting on calls, flipping through stations.